Yo, what up? How you guys doing out there today? This is your boy Roto Beast. I'm here with my boy Jeremy, aka DFS Dudes, and we're here to present you our NBA morning shoot around for Tuesday, November 13th. If you're new to our channel, please make sure and click the subscribe button below. This way you can watch all of our NBA, NFL, and MLB videos. Hey, and if you haven't came and checked out our website here at dfscheatsheet.com, you're absolutely missing out. We have all the tools to help you compete with the pros day in and day out, including a complete optimizer, tons of content. We got everything that you need. Come make sure and check out the site, dfscheatsheet.com. So, how you doing out there, Jeremy?
What's up, man? Good night. Ready to get into tomorrow's slate. I love these small 3-game slates. So excited to get into it.
Yeah, definitely. So, hey man, tonight, good night with our NBA cash line for both Fanduel and DraftKings. Money team cashed out solid tonight. Definitely a really good night. Optimizer was in the top 10 again tonight. Hey, we're GPP hunting right now. The Optimizer's been doing well. So come check out the site, man, and get a membership with us and join the money team. So, yeah, like you said, we've got a small 3-game slate. So we don't have to rush too much. We can take our time and kind of dig into a little bit. We got some things that we definitely got to touch on. And we got some injuries that we're going to be looking at going into tomorrow. So, I mean, I'm ready to go if you're ready to go.
Let's get into it, bro.
All right, so the first game we'll start with is going to be the Charlotte Hornets going into Cleveland to face the Cavaliers. This game has a 219.5 implied total, and Charlotte's favored by 6.5 in this one.
Yeah, so this game doesn't have a lot of excitement, right? If this is a full slate, there's not a lot you want to target because of the blowout possibilities. Cleveland very banged up, very banged up. 4 guys from their starting lineup are out. You'll touch on that, I'm sure, if you even want to touch on anything in this game. But you have to look at Kemba Walker, obviously playing at a very high level. We'll take a look at his game log here and see, 38.6 against Detroit. It's not a great matchup for him, but you see 53 and 46 against Atlanta. He just had a game against Cleveland where he only got 27. That's because of the blowout factor. I mean, it's a tough play to play him, but on this slate, being 3-game slate, you have to take a look at playing Kemba Walker in tournaments, especially at some exposure level, just in case he does go off and this game somehow stays close. But good places to look: Jeremy Lamb at 5,100, Cody Zeller starting to pick it up a little bit. Nicholas Batum's price is dropping at 5,900. It's not a guy that, I'm going to take a wait and see with Batum. His price should, if he has a game where he goes off and I miss out on it, that's okay. But his price is not going to jump based on one game over the $7,000 price point. So I'm going to wait and see with Batum. Don't really like him in this spot very much. But I do like guys like Malik Monk. This guy's a very solid young player, man. And you look at his price tag at 4,300. He has all the ability in the world to get you, 4, 5, 6 times value. And on a slate like this is a guy that could be a difference maker, a guy that could be low owned. Miles Bridges, another guy you could look at 5,200, getting a lot of run. Take a look at his minutes. He's in the 23, 28 in his last 2 games. That's really where I'm at with this one. I'll look to these guys like a Malik Monk, a Miles Bridges, kind of fill out my lineup. That's really what I look for on the Charlotte side because of the blowout possibility. And I'm sure you'll get into the injuries with Cleveland when you cover Cleveland.
Yeah, so on the Cleveland side of things, man, bro, on any other, if this was a slate with a lot more games, then honestly I would just skip them altogether. But 3-game slates, we have to kind of at least look at it a little bit. So one thing I'll quickly note: Sexton and Jordan Clarkson. I've been playing both of these guys the past couple games, but the thing now is their price tag's really starting to rise up. So you got Sexton 28.3, the best he's done in his past 5 games. The thing about it is the minutes are getting up there. So you really gotta like that. 41 and 34. He can definitely score the ball. For me, I think that this is an okay play. I just don't like the fact that the price tag jumped up a little bit, and I need to see more consistency if this is a guy that I want to play at 5.7. But, the fact that it's a small slate, I definitely think that you can look at Sexton. If he's going to start and play a bunch of minutes, I don't think he's a guy that's going to kill you. He's just a guy that scares me that I just don't know if he'll hit, 5 times the value that we're looking at. But you may be able to get away with it on a small slate. So Sexton is definitely in play. getting a bunch of minutes. Clarkson as well. Kyle Korver's out, so Clarkson, he's been doing a little bit of backup point guard. Plus, he comes in at the shooting guard a little bit as well. We know this guy can light it up, definitely. But his minutes are so up and down. He'll get 32, 24, 25, 19. Do we want to pay, same price as Sexton, 5.7? We need almost 30 for value. Do we want to pay that on a guy that is so kind of up and down, I would say? But small slate, definitely think he's in play as well. I'm not really looking at no Rodney Hood. Larry Nance, he's one of those guys, if he gets minutes, he does well, but his minutes are all over the place as well, as you can see. And 5.9, we need 30 just for value. So that's what's really tough for me with these Cavs is I definitely think there's a couple that are in decent spots, but they're just priced up. Tristan Thompson, same thing, 6,000. He's had a couple of really good games. Don't get me wrong, 40, almost 41 fantasy points in 2 of the past 3 games, but he's not really a scoring center, and he's not going to do that consistent. And we need 30 for value from this guy, and he's averaging 27 on the season. So because of those couple good games, his price tag kind of spiked a little bit. So for me, those are the 4 guys I definitely think you could look at. I just think they're a little bit more GPP plays just because their prices jumped so much.
Yeah, I agree. Sexton's I think he'll be a really popular point guard number 2 tomorrow on the short slate.
But do you know what I mean? Like, they're just so inconsistent and they're all priced up. That's what I don't like about those guys. Like, if they were
the price is not really matching their production, it's matching their opportunity, right? They're priced up based on the opportunity and the minutes and the injuries that are on the team, and now these guys are in starting roles when they're not NBA starters. They're just in this position based off injuries and opportunity.
Right, and I also think too. Maybe there's something went in the pricing with FanDuel is that it's a small slate, so you have to pay somewhere. You know what I mean? So it's like, look at it, bro. It's like, are you really gonna pay? It's just like you're gonna have to pay somewhere, and you're gonna have to get a couple mid-range guys. And I wouldn't be surprised if one of those guys ended up in some lineups tomorrow. Definitely, I think that you got to get a little exposure. So I'm ready to move on to the next game. This is the best game, in my opinion, on the slate. You got the Houston Rockets going into Denver to face the Nuggets. I don't think Denver has lost at home. And you got the altitude factor that people always talk about. We don't have a line yet. Like I said, definitely waiting on some news. One thing I quickly did want to touch on, though, is, bro, what do you think about this news that they're going to let go of Carmelo?
He's gone, isn't he?
I don't know, but they said they're just going to let him go on the waiver wire.
Here's my opinion, bro. I'm going to tell you like this. This dude take a look at it like this, okay? The only guy from that draft class that's a solidified starter still in the NBA is LeBron James, and he's a different player. He's a completely different player. Carmelo Anthony came in the same draft class as LeBron, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh. Obviously Chris Bosh had health issues, so he's not playing any longer, but Dwayne Wade's not Dwayne Wade of the past. He's a bench player. He's a role player, right? LeBron's the only one. Carmelo's a bench player. That's what he is, man. He's a guy who can fill out somebody's bench. But if Carmelo's putting pressure on people to be a starter, he's not a starter anymore. He clearly showed it. Terrence Ferguson pretty much shut this dude down the other night.
And you gotta. And my thing is too is you gotta give some credit. You definitely got to give some credit to Dwayne Wade for the fact that he manned up and he was gonna and he took a role on the bench.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah, if Carmelo did that, I think he can be in the league 3 or 4 more years. But if he, like you said, if he's gonna be sitting there like, oh, I need to be a starter. Oh, I think I have to be a starter, and that's just causing the negative energy. You know what I mean? And a guy's not happy, and that shit's stupid, bro. Especially, bro, Houston was a top fucking 3 team last year. Like, don't you want to contend for a fucking championship?
I've read like 2 or 3 different conflicting things, right? Like, I've read he's gone. I've read the last thing I read was that he was gone. So that's why when you asked me the question, I was kind of like, isn't he? Didn't they do it? But I just pulled up right now that their general manager, Daryl Morey, is denying that he's going to be waived. So we'll see what happens. But just to quickly touch on it, Gerald Green has been ruled out. So is Carmelo Anthony for tomorrow. So they're already short as far as the rotation goes. James Harden and Chris Paul. This is an interesting matchup for me, bro, because when we talked about it the other night when we talked about Denver and we talked about how their possessions are down, their defensive rating is up, they're playing better like they're a better team, like real life team now than they were before, but their fantasy production is definitely taking a hit. I would have put money on the fact, and I did it. I mean, I did. I put him in a ton of lineups of the night. I had Jokic in a ton of lineups of the night because everybody was talking about what's wrong with Jokic. He's not taking shots, and the dude goes off, right? What's going on with them? They're playing better defense. So here's a team in Houston that's towards the bottom of the league in offensive efficiency at 27th against a team in Denver that's near the top of the league. They're 5th in defensive efficiency. So this on paper, right, looks like, oh, this is the matchup. It's the game of the night to me. The game of the night's the next game we're going to talk about. But since we're on this one, I'll get into it. I will play James Harden. I will play Chris Paul, and I will play Clint Capella. And those are the 3 guys that I'm going to play here. You can also play Eric Gordon. There's not a big reason for me to go off on a tangent and break down all these plays. They're very obvious. There's 4 guys that play in this game. Eric Gordon, very inconsistent, misses the 3 games, comes back, goes for 34.8, then only gets 13.8 in 31 minutes. But Eric Gordon's a good basketball player, man. He's a really good basketball player. It's been a guy that we've liked to use and target over the years and daily. James Harden at 11.5. I feel like anytime this guy's under 12,000, it's a bargain because he has 80-point upside. And this team is going to be, the scoring is going to go through Harden and Chris Paul. They're the dynamic duo. All this news around Carmelo Anthony, these dudes have to play. It's just interesting to me because I think that if this was a bigger slate, I would probably avoid a lot of the Houston plays in it because I think there's more interesting games. And I think that for me, we're going to find out, right? We're going to find out if Houston's really that bad and their struggles are really as bad as their record is and all this drama with Carmelo. And number 2, we're going to find out if Denver's defense is really this legit, if they're really a top 5 defensive team in the NBA. So if this is a bigger slate, I probably avoid it, but it's not a big slate. It's a 3-game slate, so you've got to play people from this game. I'll play 4 guys on the Houston side. I'll play Harden, I'll play Eric Gordon, I'll play Chris Paul, and I'll play Clint Capella.
Yeah, so I mean, on the Denver side of things, I mean, I think you just pretty much look at the obvious guys. Thinking about Jamal Murray, though, he's another guy. I feel he's overpriced. 7.3 for value. We need this guy to hit 36. I mean, he had the 55-point game, but outside of that, I mean, 24, 26, 29, 29, 14, and we need 36 just for value, just for 5x. I'm not saying he can't get it. And then he goes against Chris Paul. I understand Chris Paul's a little bit older, but he's still a very good defender. So for me, I'm not really feeling Murray. I think he's a little bit overpriced in this matchup. Gary Harris, I think he's in a solid spot. They're going to need him to be on the floor guarding James Harden. Hopefully, you don't get in foul trouble. The guy, he's been up and down. He's definitely been up and down. Same thing with him. At 6.6 is the price tag. For value, we need about 32, and he hasn't got 32 in 6 straight games. He had 1 game where he got 30. Man, to me, bro, this whole slate, like I was telling you, I feel all these guys are a little bit more priced up because they know it's a small slate and you got to pay some more, especially these mid-tier guys.
If you are a veteran daily player like we are, right? These 3-game slates, the mistake people make are they try to pay up for 2 spots and they try to load their lineup of value because it's a small slate and they want to pay for 2 or 3 guys. The balanced lineup always wins tournaments on these slates. The balanced lineup always wins tournaments on this slate. And it's because of the way everybody's priced. Like you just said, everybody's priced up because it's a small slate. You're going to see guys that on Thursday and Friday or Wednesday and Thursday from this slate that their price drops by $500 or $600, and they may go off tomorrow. It's just they're overpriced for the slate. Tomorrow, balanced lineup is how you got to build, in my opinion.
All right, so I do like Gary Harris. Like I said, I just feel he's a little bit overpriced, but it's going to be an up and down game. So I definitely think that he can have a good game. You can look. I'm just going to mention him because the guy's been playing very well. 4,400's guy Monte Morris. He keeps just getting the minutes. He's got at least 22 minutes in the past 3 26 and 27 in 2 of the 3, and he fills up the stat sheet. He's a really good player. So I think that's a little bit why Gary Harrison minutes are down this year a little bit. The guy's been playing well, but he's a GPP play on a small slate, somebody that has some upside at a 4.4 price tag. Just quickly wanted to mention him. And then you got, Hernan Gomez. This guy, he got, I think he started last game. Did he start last game? Yeah. I don't know, but anyway, make a long story short, I think he started, but either way, the guy's getting the minutes 28, 28, 24, 22. Okay, 13 didn't get him, but then back to 29. And I mean, this is a guy that has upside. We've seen it 32 fantasy point upside. I know it was Cleveland, but if you need a punt play on this slate and this guy's going to get a start, I definitely think that he's somebody that you could consider at a 3.8 price tag. All you need for value from this dude is about 19. I definitely think he can get that if he's going to get the minutes. It's all about minutes with him. Power forward, boom. Bro, we finally got a guy that I feel is priced solid. Paul Millsap, 6.2. I think that's a very, very fair price tag for Millsap. He generally gets, his, close to 30 minutes a game. And, he showed us last game. He has upside, 48 fantasy points. I'm not saying he's going to do that tomorrow. He probably isn't going to do that tomorrow. But this guy does a little bit of everything. He plays defense as well. We need 30 for value from him. I definitely think he's a guy that we can use in cash games at your power forward spot. 6.2, fair price tag for him. Lyles, he's showed us some upside. You can look at him for GPP, but I think this game is going to stay close, and the starters are going to get their minutes. And then we go to the guy. I mean, I don't know what to do with this dude, bro. Definitely not cash. GPP 100%. I mean, I don't know what's going on, man. Just for value alone, you need about 48. I mean, he's got you 66 against Brooklyn, one monster game, and then 37, 18, 29. Even the 41, I mean, I don't really want 41 at a 9.7 price tag. 17, I don't know what to do with this dude, man. If you got anything to chime in on him, you could chime in on him, but I'm not really feeling him, especially against Capella. It goes right back to my rule, bro. Big man against big man. One of them is going to get in foul trouble. And then, so it's not only does he have a good chance of getting in foul trouble, plus he's been inconsistent. No, thank you.
The guy to play at center tomorrow night in this game is Mason Plumlee. This is a Mason Plumlee game.
Think so?
This is a Mason Plumlee game all day long. The dude's going to – look, he's averaging – what's he averaging? 17? Let me pull it up.
15.
He's averaging 15 at 3.7. That's 5X, right? So he's right about 5X. This is a Mason Plumlee game. Is he out?
I'm not sure.
He's not out.
No, I don't think he's out.
This is a Mason Plumlee game for me, bro. Mason Plumlee game. And the guy that I got to mention that I didn't mention, it's my apologies. James Ennis is the small forward, is going to play at 3,500 tomorrow. This 3.5 price tag. If PJ Tucker is out, he's questionable right now. If PJ Tucker is out, James Ennis is probably the premier pump play on the entire slate at 3.5.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, he's a guy, I like him for sure. So, you ready to move on to the last game?
This is the game that I can't wait to get to, man.
Last game, we got Atlanta Hawks going into Golden State to face the Warriors. One thing I will note, Warriors going to be on a back-to-back, and they're probably not going to have no Steph Curry. Once again, I would have loved to see Steph Curry in this game going head-to-head with Trae Young, bro. I would have loved that.
Curry's out for the next 2 games at minimum. That's the news today. The groin injury. They're going to take it slow with the guy. The reason why this game is very interesting to me, it's the most interesting game on the slate. It's, to me, I think the best game on the slate because the Warriors clearly went after this game, bringing Draymond back, bringing Sean Livingston back. I would anticipate Sean Livingston being out tomorrow. It's just they rest the guy a lot, period, even when he's healthy, and he's not healthy. It's a back-to-back. I can clearly see Livingston's a guy we both know. They save him he's a guy that's on their roster for veteran leadership. He's a great backup point guard, and he's a playoff guy, right? Like that, he's a playoff guy. So they rest him all the time for no reason at all. Injured, I can see him not playing. They went all in on this game tonight to try to win the front half of a back-to-back, thinking that they were going to smash Atlanta tomorrow. They get more rest. They have a ton of games coming up. I believe they play Thursday. Then they play Friday, they play Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, all on this road trip. So it's a ton of games. I can see, they're home they go to LA, they're home and go tomorrow night, and then they're out on the road, and it's a bunch of games quick. So I could see Livingston not playing. We'll see how Draymond's foot is. He could pop up. You've got to watch those things first. The Atlanta side, Amari Spellman is a guy I'm going to continue to play. His price is really cheap. The guy's balling. And here's the thing. He's getting starters minutes. And then if the game does blow out, he's going to get extended run in the fourth quarter if it does blow out. This game's so interesting to me. I do like Trae Young a little bit, but 7,500, he is priced up. But Atlanta's going to play their guys no matter what, if it blows out or not. Take a look back to the Pistons game. That game was like 84 to 40 at halftime. And then the final score of that game becomes a 124 to 109. I mean, I had Blake Griffin on that slate at like 47 fantasy points for the entire second half. I don't even think he played. So they play their guys. So you can attack Trae Young. You can use a Kent Basemore if you want to look at a narrative. The guy was at Golden State. This is where he started his career, Golden State. 6,900 though. Again, we're looking at another guy who's priced up. The dude Kevin Huerter. This is a guy they're going to look to get minutes. He only got 11 against the Lakers for whatever reason. But you could look at him tomorrow night. Another guy to look at, obviously, Bimbre. He's been playing very well lately. Again, he duds out his last two games, but he was pretty solid before that. Now his price is up to 4,700 on the slate. This is a guy that has been a sub $4,000 player. You could look to him. You could look to this entire team, in my opinion, this Atlanta side, because it's a short slate and you're going to need to find value somewhere. But to me, the number one spot to get value in this game and probably on the slate is this dude Omari Spellman. Been playing extremely well, getting starters minutes. He's basically blowout proof because he's gonna get run no matter what. And the guy Alex Len, man, Alex Len's been playing pretty solid. I had him in quite a few lineups last night. Got 29.7 at 4,900 last night. So I like this guy Alex Len. Always liked him when he was in Phoenix. Just he kind of played in the shadows of Tyson Chandler a lot. So you can look to play Alex Len. To me, this whole thing is on the other side, which you'll cover, I'm sure. The Golden State side, this is so interesting. What are they gonna do? With the loss to Milwaukee, they lose to the Clippers. Are they in panic mode? There's no Steph Curry. They've got veterans on that team. I don't know if you watched the game tonight, but did you watch the game tonight?
Yeah, I watched the whole game.
Did you see what happened with Draymond and Kevin Durant and Klay Thompson all pissed off at each other at the end of that game because Draymond tried to keep the ball, go coast to coast, and then it goes to overtime? Like, they didn't even get a shit. Like, you got two of the best shooters in basketball, and Draymond's the dude who's going to try to keep the ball, the most unselfish guy on that team who, like, facilitated. It was just weird. So, to me, I don't know if this game's going to blow out. I don't know what's going to happen. They're on a back-to-back with all these injuries, and they're banged up, and they played a ton of minutes tonight in an overtime game. So I don't know, man. To me, you look at Houston and Denver, you got Houston who's not playing well. You got Denver who's playing really good defense. You look at Charlotte and Cleveland, blowout prospects all over that. I just think this game could be a really good game with a really young Atlanta team against a tired and banged up Golden State team.
Yeah, so I mean, honestly, I don't think that they're really in panic mode. I mean, one thing that we always got to remember, bro.
No, they're in frustration mode. Would you agree?
Hey, but look at check this out. One thing that we all got to remember, everybody has to remember this, bro. They got Boogie Cousins, a fucking all-star center, going to be in a month. You know what I mean? Like, bro, you just all they have to. I mean, you just got to ride the wave. That's it. They got to, at least, ride the wave. They got to beat the team they got to beat. They lose a couple tough games. It's fine.
Hey,
they got,
the number one thing to remember is they're fucking 11-3. Like, they're still 11-3. Like, they're 11-3. It's an 11-3 basketball team. It's just that for this slate and a 3-game slate, you look at it and it looks like, oh, Houston and Denver is where all the fantasy goodness is, right? But I think it could be all the fantasy goodness could be in this game because of the fact, you've got them tired. They're on a back-to-back. They are banged up. They are frustrated, right? I think there's a ton. There could be a ton of goodness in this game, the last game of the night.
Yeah, so I mean, on the worst side of things, tonight, a lot of people got burned by Quinn Cook. I did myself, got burned by Quinn Cook. I'll admit it. And, it's all right. It is what it is. Tonight, he had Patrick Beverly guarding him. He couldn't really get it going. Hey, Patrick Beverly frustrates a lot of people. So I'm going to go right back to the well. I mean, I know the guy's a little bit overpriced, but this is the guy that, he can light it up. We seen it last year. It wasn't just last game. We did definitely see it last year a couple times. My biggest debate was you got Quinn Cook at 5.8, and then you got Colin Sexton at 5.7. Who do you feel more comfortable going with? That's just a quick question.
Quinn Cook or who?
Or Sexton. They're $100 apart at point guard.
It just depends. Like, here's the thing, right? You said I was going to wait and touch on this when you finish, but since you asked me, I'll tell you now. You didn't get burned by Quinn Cook tonight, right? We all play Quinn Cook. The problem was Sean Livingston was questionable, and with FanDuel, no late swap, there's no way to figure out if you're going to play that dude or not. You know what I mean? Like, you have to make the play based on the information at the time. And at lock, Sean Livingston hadn't played, and he's questionable, right? So Quinn Cook was the play, and that's just a good example of making the right play, but it just doesn't work out. You have to make decisions, and that's what we do, right? Make decisions based on the information at the time. So my answer to that is tied into that example. If Livingston doesn't play tomorrow, you got to go right back to Quinn Cook at 5'8". But
if Livingston's out, he's a lock.
Right. But if Livingston's going to play again, then absolutely you play Sexton over Quinn Cook tomorrow for sure.
I just wanted your opinion on it for sure. So let me finish this up real quick. We got Clay 7,100. I mean, I guess this is a fair price tag. For a guy that, there is no Steph Curry. Steph Curry scores almost 30 points a game. They're going to need his scoring. So I definitely think Clay's a really, really good play tomorrow at 7,100. Iguodala, I mean, he played a ton of minutes tonight, so that's something that we got to watch going into tomorrow. But if he is going to play, I mean, 3,700, this guy has 30 fantasy point, even 40 fantasy point upside. This is a game they're not going to want to lose. Back-to-back nights going against an Atlanta team who's very young and inexperienced. I definitely, expect Golden State to win this game. I like Iguodala. Obviously, I mean, Kevin Durant's going to be a lock on tomorrow's slate. He's going to be an absolute lock. He's running the team right now. He's running a team with no Steph Curry. So Durant, you just lock him in pretty much every single lineup you play. It is what it is. Power forward, Draymond. He's picking up some of the usage with no Steph Curry, having the ball in his hand a little bit. Didn't have the best game today. Definitely didn't have the best game, but this is a guy, triple-double upside any night. Coming off an off game tonight, I expect Draymond to have a monster game tomorrow against Atlanta. I love Draymond in this spot. You can always look at, Looney, or you can look at Drebko. He got the start last game. The thing about it with these guys, I mean, it's all about minutes. And, in the big spot area, they're not really hurting. They got Looney, they got Drebko, they got the rookie, Damian Jones, Green. So they're not really hurting too bad in the big guy area. So this is kind of like a puzzle. Who's going to play between Looney and Drebko? But, I mean, we got to kind of see what happens with that situation. And then, I mean, you got the rookie at center, Jones. He's just not getting enough minutes. I mean, that's kind of what it is with him. 3.7. I think that there's a lot of you can use one of the Warriors big guys as a punt play tomorrow at power forward. But I mean, we got to kind of see where we're at. I don't think personally that power forward's a very good position tomorrow. So I definitely think it's a good spot. You can punt somebody, and that's really where I'm at, bro. With the Warriors side of things. If I missed anything, feel free to chime in. If not, I have to had a couple things I got to do for the members in the chat real quick.
This game to me is going to be 100% about news tomorrow, and the Warriors usually do a really good job of letting everybody know early in the day after their morning shoot around what they're going to do. Draymond played 42 minutes, bro, and he's coming back off an injury. I mean, I'm feeling iffy about him playing tomorrow. I'm feeling iffy about Livingston playing tomorrow. They're 11-3, like you said. They're not in panic mode, right? But you can see they're clearly frustrated. And Steve Kerr, this dude is a Greg Popovich disciple. I mean, I know he played with the Bulls, but he also won rings with Popovich in San Antonio. And we know how Popovich is. He'll rest guys they don't give a shit about fans in the seats and coming to watch the game. They're trying to win championships. So I could totally see a scenario where Draymond doesn't play tomorrow because he played big minutes tonight, and Sean Livingston doesn't play tomorrow. And if that's the case, like you said, power forward's already weak tomorrow. So I just feel like this game is going to be a good game tomorrow to target. And I feel like you have to watch news because there's huge, like you said, there's big decisions that will come off whether these guys play tomorrow or not.
Yeah, but the bad part is it's a 7:30 game and locks at 4, so we may not even get news. That's the bad part about it.
But typically, that's what I'm saying. Typically, if you notice, like they usually like we're on the West Coast, so like usually 11 o'clock in the morning, when they're gonna rule. Like it came out today at like 11 o'clock that Steph Curry was out for the next 2 games.
Right.
So they're usually really good about when guys aren't gonna play, they put it out that they're not playing. That's why with the Warriors, to me, when it's a guy who's a game time decision, typically they're gonna play because they usually announce early in the day they're not gonna play.
Right. So real quick, couple things. Quick shout out to my boy Marv. He said that he took a little tournament down the other day with the Optimizer a couple days ago. Marv was talking about that in the chat. That's pretty cool. Like I said, the Optimizer's been doing very well. One of our members, Zach, he doesn't know how to download lineups from the Optimizer and put them on Fanduel. So I wanted to do that real quick for him. And if somebody else doesn't know how to do it, then they can see it real quick as well. So I'm going to do that real quick for them. But I think that's about wraps up the slate, correct?
Yeah. Hey, and for you guys that are members, we're about to launch so many new features in the next couple of days to make this thing even cooler.
Going to get crazy for sure.
Yeah, and one of the things that we can't wait to launch is the player pool and the exposure controls, and that'll make when you run your 150 lines, you'll be able to pick how many lineups you want certain players in. But yeah, break it down so they see how to do it because it's a big part. Like you might as well just touch on it now while we're on it, dude. Just touch on what we talked about earlier in the day about playing 25 lineups or 50 lineups or 150 lineups at 25 cents to go with the cash game. I mean, you got to play both sides of the strategy.
Yeah, so I mean, just what me and Jeremy were quickly talking about earlier is like, our optimizer has been doing very well. We're not saying it just to say it. I mean, everybody is saying that it's been doing very well. It is what it is. And we have people they come and get our package and they're like, oh, well, we're just getting a package and you guys are getting a package and you just want to play the cash line. The cash line is cool. Cash lines are an easy way to double your money. But why not try to hit the big jackpot? Even if it's just the 25-cent GPP every day, to max it out with 150 lines, it's $37. All right? $37 for a chance to win $1,000 every single night. Why not at least use the optimizer, max out 150 lineups in the 25 cent, throw the cash line to cover your GPPs, maybe throw the cash line in a couple of GPPs, have everything covered with cash, nice little $7,500 night, and have some fun, man. Use the optimizer. Trust me, it's been on fire. It's going to give you massive upside. So I'm just gonna quickly let me just go through this real quick and just do these show Todd how to save these lineups real quick. So I'm just gonna do it real quick. I'm just gonna refresh my screen.
Hold on, while you're doing that, bro, I'll just tell you guys this too. I've used the optimizer for a couple of things over the last few days outside of just max entering, and what I've done is gone to these small qualifiers where they have big tickets in the line, and I've dumped like. Some of them are 24 entry max you do for a quarter. So it's like $6.50. And I've won tickets each of the last 2 nights. I've won multiple tickets to 33, 66. I won a monster ticket, 555, just using the optimizer, just to spend $6.50 jumping into these qualifiers. So that's another way to use it. Just grab 24. If you don't want to go all in on a tournament, go all in on a qualifier. You put $6 in, you can win a $33 ticket. I mean, that's 4 times your money. And then if you cash on that $33 ticket, you went from 650, you're 10x. So use the optimizer for something. You have part of the strategy that Steph and I play is all we use cash lineups for is to cover our investment in tournaments. If you don't win tournaments and you don't cash in tournaments, at least you hedged yourself with your cash lineup. So you cover your entry fees and tournaments with the cash lineup.
Yeah, so here you go, man. Let me do this for you real quick. So I'm just gonna run a quick 10 lineups. This is for tomorrow's slate. Main slate starts at 7 o'clock. Run my lineups real quick. Boom. So now, don't play these lineups. All right. I don't want people to start throwing these lineups in. I mean, there's a lot of news we got to wait for tomorrow. So here you go, Zach. So we got our 10 lineups right here. Instead of having to manually enter, and we don't want you to have to manually save each one, especially if it's 150. So you click this button, bulk save. The lineup saved right. They're down here that they saved. You can also go to my lineups as well, and you have them saved right here. So boom. So then you got your 10 lineups. They're downloaded, and you can do this for up to 150. Click export to Excel. Boom. Now you got your file down here in the bottom left. Then we'll go to Fanduel. So we'll go to so let me just show you. So then you'll go to lobby. We'll go boom. So then we'll go to I'll just delete them. I'll put them in there for you so you can just so then we would click this, enter new lineups. Now you're here. This is the tournament. You want to put, you can put up to 150. We just have quick 10. So this is $40 right here. Like I said, you can do it with the as many as you want. You would click upload file. You go to your file wherever you save. Mine just save on my download. Then you click download, hit upload. Boom, you got the files right there. 10 lineups entered into Fanduel, quick and easy. Like I said, you can do it for up to 150, and literally you can put 150 lineups in about 2 minutes. It's crazy. Gives you different variations of the core that it's filling for the night. Every night, the optimizer's been getting better for us. Like I said, the optimizer's new, and it saves memory and stores memory every single night. So that's really where we're at, man. So I'm ready to get up out of here. If you're ready to get up out of here, Jeremy, I think this was a very good video tonight. And I'm definitely, I love doing these videos, and I love every night we're getting more and more people. Thanks for being interactive, in the chat. Please make sure to take that quick second, click the like button down below for me. Make sure that you're subscribed to this channel. I'll be back tomorrow with my NBA core plays. Jeremy will be posting his GPP core plays over on the DFS Cheat Sheet YouTube channel. Make sure to go over there and subscribe as well for us. And that's it. You good, Jeremy?
Hey, bro, one thing that, since we're on kind of a tutorial thing, I'm just going to spend like 2 minutes on this. If you guys aren't using the starting lineups page, make sure you take advantage of this. And like Steph said, every night what we're doing now is we're databasing all the data so we can start coming up with some of our own stuff as far as different metrics and how we show you guys the right place for the night, right? So we're databasing all game logs now, and this information is going to continue to grow. But one thing that's very important for me as a tournament player on a nightly basis, and Steph as a cash player, is we need to figure out who is overpriced and who is underpriced, and that's where we figure it out. So on the starting lineups page, we're only showing you their averages for the previous 5 games. So when you look at that, you see a guy like Tristan Thompson at 6,100, and you're like, man, Thompson's 6,100, but you see, okay, last 5 games, 30.6 minutes, 13.8 points per game, right? So these stats right here are for the last 5 games. This tool is going to continue to grow. It's going to continue to get better, but make sure you check the starting lineups page, and it will become interactive in the next couple of days where you'll be able to click on their player card as well. But figuring out what their season averages are isn't always relevant, and it's not really relevant in daily fantasy. What they're doing recently and how it's affecting their price is the most important thing you can figure out. You see a Jokic only averaging 15.2 points per game in 28.4 minutes at almost 10,000, and that's what we're talking about when we're not, Steph saying, I'm not sure if I want to play this dude. So make sure you check out the starting lineups page every day, figure out what guys are doing, and it really gives you a feel for if you really want to pay up for this guy or if you think this guy is really too cheap, right? So that's what I want to make sure people are using as well. Make sure you use the tools that we're giving you guys. This whole thing is based off a process that Steph and I go through on a daily basis. So I just want to make sure we hit that as well.
Definitely. So, hey, thanks for checking this out, guys. We'll be back with tomorrow night with our video for Wednesday. Thanks a lot. Good luck tomorrow with your lineups. Let's get some money and check out the site, man. Peace out.